Happy Gala of Peace if you are participating in Readathon. If you're just here to watch me read, I'm going to be reading for 48 hours. So if you don't know what Readathon is, it's a competitive team-based readathon, and there's one like 48-hour solid stretch where you get more points for reading books. So people tend to like read shorter books or try and like do a readathon. Me, personally, I have goals that kind of align with this. So we're all just lumping it into one vlog. This is probably going to be more so like me reading as much as I can for 4-ish days. Obviously only counting my readathon books for the readathon where they, I'm following the rules. Okay, I'm following the rules. And welcome to a 48-hour readathon. I am not going to read for 48 hours straight, but I'm going to read as much as I humanly possibly can in 48 hours and then probably tack on a little bit extra before the Transrights Readathon, because my personal goal beyond the Gala of Peace for Realmathon is to read as many of my March arcs as I possibly can before the Transrights Readathon, because then that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be able to read my arcs beforehand. So this is the TBR. This is what I'm going to be trying to read this weekend and Monday. I need to read Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon by Mizuki Sujimura because book 2 comes out in March. And I haven't read either of these, so I need to get to both of them. They look to be pretty short though, so should be okay. Both under 300 pages, so that's good. Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher. I am like 2/3 of the way done with this one, so I'm not super worried about this one. I think I should for sure be able to get this done. This is like a buggy horror. It's gross so far. It's real gross. And Crawl Space by Adam Christopher. This is a sci-fi horror about a crawl space. It sounds really good. I actually hadn't really heard about this until the local horror bookstore talked about it, so I'm really excited to check this out. And then Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas. This is one that I did request, and this is about a man who goes on this like insane weight loss drug and it causes like horrible, crazy side effects. So I love this cover and I'm excited to get to this one too. And I can't find where I put the book, but I also have the audiobook, so it's fine. I Love You Don't Die by Jade Song is about a young woman who lives in New York City who's just obsessed with death and dying. 2 books that are on my neck alley are Wretch by Eric LaRocca. This is a new, like, I think tech horror. Queer tech horror is what it is touted as. I haven't heard stunning things, but I do love the cover and I'm hopeful that I like this. And then Aicha by Soraya Buzawai. This is like a good for her revenge fantasy. I'm primed to like it. I just don't know if I'm going to because the ratings haven't been great. So we'll see. Those are my reading plans for the next few days. Is that insane? Yes, but I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done. I have a lot of audiobooks if I need to do that with other activities. I'm hoping to do some journaling, maybe some knitting, because it's going to be kind of just like gross this weekend. Maybe a little bit cozy. Probably not the bug horror being cozy. It's going to be a good few days of reading as much as I possibly can, so let's go do that. I'm halfway through I Love You Don't Die, and I think it's going pretty well so far. We're following Vicky, who works for this kind of startup corporation and is pretty just like an anxious person. So she's obsessed with death, but she's obsessed with like a lot of other things too, like just worried about a lot of different things. And nothing is going like super duper well for her, but things are starting to get better. She has got herself involved in this throuple and she's like, oh my god, is this what love is like? But she's also kind of in love with her best friend a little bit, but not really. Just like feeling a lot of big feelings for her best friend, and she has a lot of big feelings and doesn't really know how to, deal with them. And she lives in New York City. That's kind of all that's happened, and I'm like halfway through the book, so I don't really know what's going to continue to happen. And I knew that this wasn't horror or speculative. It was just literary and like a coming of age kind of thing, and it's just kind of fine. I'm also listening to it on audio and I want to save that for when I need an audiobook. So I do think I'm going to switch to Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas because I can sit and read with my eyeballs right now. So I'm going to pick out some tabs probably and start reading this. I need to go to bed. I cannot keep my eyes open anymore. Not the book's fault. I'm just exhausted. But I'm about 100 pages into Nothing Tastes as Good. If you have like even a sprinkling of an eating disorder or not a great relationship with food, don't read this. This is not the book for you. But we're following Emmett, who is 28 and not where he thought he'd be in life. He really hates himself for being fat. He is incredibly like hateful of fat people, but mostly himself, but sometimes others too. And he thought he was going to be a teacher, but the kids were so mean to him, he quit teaching and now he works at Target and he can like barely scrape enough to get by and is just not where he thinks that he should be. His life has not been easy up until now either, and he decides to join this like medical trial thing. It's like this miracle weight loss thing. It changes just your genes themselves, and his roommate is like, I don't know about this, dude. I don't know if this is the right choice for you. And he's like, well, it pays $1,500 a month because it's a medical trial. I gotta do this. It's taken this long for him to go through like the medical process of the trial. Like he got approved for it and everything. It's also told mixed media. So there's like, he has a blog, he has an Instagram that we see, but there's also these interviews and official documentation for the medical practice that is doing these trials and the drug company that is doing these trials. Obviously something has gone really wrong. We know that someone, and we have now discovered that it is Emmett, has resorted to cannibalism. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but we know that this has happened. So I'm very excited about that. I love cannibalism and horror. It's one of my favorite things. It hasn't really bothered me that we haven't really gotten any horror up until this point. It's been mostly set up and like kind of learning from Emmett's perspective who Emmett is. But I'm really hoping that things like start to kick up a notch when I pick this book up again. I think it's going pretty well so far, and I'm interested to see if it goes off the rails because I think I could really like it if it does go off the rails. But for now, I need to go to bed. Good morning. Okay, this morning I have been cleaning, so I just listened to my audiobook, I Love You Don't Die by Jade Song, and I actually finished it. It's one of those books where it's pretty crucial to read the trigger warnings in the beginning because they're in here for sure. This definitely, as I've discussed, centers around death and thinking about dying and wanting to die, and there is both suicidal ideation and suicide as trigger warnings at the beginning of this book. I'm sorry if you think those are spoilers, but you should probably know that going into this book. It's very sad in the end, but also hopeful. I don't necessarily know that I love the journey that Vicky had to go on to like gain some hope back and kind of like fight for herself a little bit, but I do appreciate what this book was doing and I like the writing. I'm excited to read more from Jade Song. I'm reading Chlorine later this month, and I do think that it was a good book. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. That's how I feel about it right now. It did make me feel things by the end of the book, and I felt a lot less frustrated with Vicky and a lot more empathetic with her. I like the friendship that she had, and I think the journey that she is about to go on at the end of this book, it's a little bit hope-core-y, so if you really hate that, I probably wouldn't recommend this, but overall I did like it, and I think the audiobook is pretty solid. The narrator does a pretty good job of putting emotion into her voice and making you feel that she's feeling what the characters are feeling, and I appreciated that. It wasn't like a monotone one-note situation, so the audiobook was pretty good. And I actually finished this before I was done with the cleaning that I wanted to do, so I did pick up Crawl Space, and this comes out also in March. I think this comes out soon, and this is like kind of just like almost a picture on the front, and I'm also listening to the audiobook of this. We are following a space crew who is going somewhere in their spaceship. They call it a drop, and I'm not certain what that is, if it's like going through a wormhole or something, but one of the people on the space crew just like diverts from what they are expected to be doing. Everything was going fine up until then, and made them drop for a second time after like a big alarm sounded, and now they're just like kind of stuck in this nothing space. One of the other members talked to the member that kind of seems off his rocker now, and it's just like, you guys don't understand, you guys don't even know, I can't even tell you, and then they just like leave the ship and took the escape pod. So now there's I think around 4 or 5 people left, one of whom is missing, and they're just like, we have to figure out what to do, we have to find this missing person, we have to get a game plan together, and that's kind of where they're at. I love a space horror because I do think that it is frightening thinking about myself in this scenario, but I would never be in that scenario. I have zero interest going into space. I like my feet on the ground. So it is a more fun horror for me because it feels less real and I feel like I can consume more of them. So I'm excited to continue this. I am going to probably listen to most of it because Portland is having a kind of sunny day. It's really trying to be sunny right now, and I would like to go outside and go for a walk before it rains for a week straight again. So I think I'm gonna go on a walk, get some steps in, and listen to my audiobook. And then I want to catch up on some journaling because I'm pretty behind on like my personal Hobonichi. I have one for more planning things, and then I have one that's more of like a junk journal situation. Really behind on the junk journal thing. But I have a couple really exciting things to show you in terms of my journaling supplies, so I'm super excited about that. I'll talk about that later though, and continue with my audiobook. We've already finished one book. I think that this will go pretty quickly. It's not very long, and I would also really like to finish Nothing Tastes as Good tonight too. So finishing 3 books on a Saturday feels pretty good to me. That's the goal. If any of you live in the Pacific Northwest, you know the winters are a little tough. They're not cold, it's just like cloudy all the time. I used to live in the Midwest and it was cold, but we would get sun sometimes, so it's definitely trade-offs. I do think I would rather live in Pacific Northwest winters though. And now we have a day of sun, so it's totally fine. Life is worth living again. You know, that's kind of how it feels. And it was going fine. It was just like the really classic people start becoming the bad thing and they're trying to get home, and then there was an ambiguous ending, and it did some kind of cool stuff in between trying to figure out the imposters and the ambiguous ending that I don't particularly care for, honestly. And it was just kind of fine for me. I'm giving this 3.5 stars. I didn't hate reading it. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's not gonna stick with me, you know? It was just fine. My walk was also lovely and beautiful. I am cold now though because I had the windows open and stuff because it was nice, but it was a little bit on the cold side. Now it's just cold. So I'm in my blanket hoodie, but the walk was really good. Whenever it starts getting sunny out again for the first time in Portland, I feel like I need to be outside every second that the sun is out, and if I'm not, I'm wasting the sun. But it's gonna be so sunny so soon. It's okay to be inside sometimes when the sun is shining. I need to edit a sit down video. Less excited for that, but it shouldn't take me that long. I just need to do it. And then I have also started Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon, and I just think it's gonna be one of those books that's not for me. I'm going to give it, I'm gonna try and get 25% of the way into it. I have this one on audio as well. I really want an eyeball read, but I really don't know if this is necessarily an eyeball read for me. And then I have the next book only available via eyeball. So I'm gonna give this maybe until 50%. It's going really quickly, so I don't think it's gonna take me that long to get to 50%. And we'll see if I want to continue, but I might just DNF, and then both of these will be off my TBR, which is fine. I'm getting better at DNFing arcs this year because just because it's not out yet, just because it was very kindly sent to me, doesn't mean that I have to finish it. I don't have to suffer. There's lots of great books out there that I'm very excited to read. There's just no reason to do that. This is mostly a pep talk for me, not a lesson for you. And I think I'm gonna organize some of my journal supplies. I'm really excited to do that. I'm really excited to show you the thing that I got. Do you want to see it? I don't know the best way to do this without showing you the mess that I have on my coffee table right now, but we'll try. Okay, I think you can see it pretty okay. It's this really cool box, and it and then this lifts up, and it does it on the other side too. Isn't that cool? I've started putting some stuff in it and it's fitting really well. It does need a screw because I think this is supposed to be upright all the time. Oh, sorry, soup. But I think it's so beautiful. I'm so excited about it. It just needs a little TLC, and I think it's going to be a really nice piece, I guess. I downloaded Facebook Marketplace randomly, and I saw this, and I was like, yeah, this is for me. And I think I got it for a pretty good price, too. I paid $50 for it, which doesn't feel horrible. It's really huge, and I think it'll fit plenty. I'm so pleased with it. And the cats have been really interested in it because it smells not like our house, so. But yeah, I'm going to, I think if I do all my video editing now, I'm going to be really happy that I did it, so I'm going to do that. And then see how far I get into this book. Maybe I'm gonna love it and I just don't like the first 10% or so. About the glare for my glasses, but I do need to see. In Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon, we're following, not giving me her name on the back, but we're following a woman who lives in Tokyo and was kind of obsessed with this, I think, pop star that died. And in this world, there's people that can take you to the other side and you can communicate with the dead. The living have to make the request and the dead are the ones that can accept it, but you can only talk once while alive and once while dead. So the dead have to like kind of like figure out who they want to talk to. But since they can't make their request, they kind of have to like take what they can get as well. And that's kind of the idea. This like type of thing, like I DNF'd Aftertaste, and then like I didn't love the Midnight Library, like that kind of thing is not necessarily my kind of story. I'm still going to try it because I'm trying to find the book that like really speaks to me. This I don't think is the one, but I'm going to continue with it for at least a little bit longer. It's so many hours later. I'm finally done with my editing. It took longer than I wanted it to, as it always does. I've also made the decision to not finish this book. I'm going to DNF it and then just like DNF the other book as well. I think reading 2 books that are super centered around death back to back is just like not for me. And after I Love You Don't Die, I just really don't need this in my life right now, and I don't think that it's ever going to be really super for me anyway. So I'm just DNFing it altogether, but I will be able to unhaul 2 books, so that's great. But this book does come out on March 17th, so it does come out soon if you did really enjoy Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon, just so you know. So what I think I'm going to do is, the only problem with my physical read right now, I am really enjoying it, but I think I want to do a little bit of journaling, and it also doesn't come out till the very end of March, so I have a lot of other books to get to before that happens. I think I'm done with all the books that come out on March 10th, but then on March 17th, I have some books that I would like to get to. So I think Aisha is what I would like to get to next. I think I'm in the mood for a fantasy, some feminine rage. That sounds great. And I also found my little photo printer, so that means I can work on my book journal, which I'm really excited about. So I think that I'm going to do that. Just kind of fill out some of, not even like the book review section of it, but the monthly stuff that I haven't been doing just because I haven't had this, but now I have this. So I can actually keep up with it, which is really, really exciting. I'm so happy that I have this again. It's going to make my life so much easier in terms of like journaling things. Start Aisha, and I will give you my initial impressions after I've done a little bit of journaling. This is kind of a fun filming spot. Sorry if the heat is loud. I'm freezing. It needs to be on. But I have made progress on my book journal that I'm really happy with. I have to let my printer charge, otherwise I would probably keep going. But it's looking so good, especially just like all the books I finished so far this year. This page is, they're one of my favorites. And I just don't have it in me to do like the reviews and stuff, but I did start laying down books that I want to review. It's not every single book, and that is so working for me this year. What else do I need to keep doing? Oh, I need to do this, but I need to do the printer for that. I'm gonna hole punch with this 5-star hole puncher that I also found when I was looking for my photo printer, so that's so nice for me. I updated how many books I've read so far this year. 51, not too bad, not too shabby. I haven't looked at my ARC tracker yet. I'm gonna need to do another page for it. I don't think I'm gonna do like I thought maybe I would do like a full out thing when I still had like self-control about how many arcs I was requesting, but I'm just gonna have to do another separate page. And I still haven't done my readathon stuff yet. I need the printer for that. And again, calendar pages need the printer for that. So we're moving up in the world. I'll probably do more tomorrow, to be totally honest, because I'm gonna have more audiobook time. I need to pick my favorite book of February. I have no idea what that will be. I'm glad I don't have to pick it for March yet. I also need to update my publisher mail tracker. I think my purchase tracker is still the same because I've just been doing my book boxes and that's it. So I don't really have any. It's gonna change. It's gonna change real fast once I'm off of my book buying ban, but for now it's nice and normal looking. So if I use probably 3 pages, like a page a month. Yeah, at max a page a month. And then I can use the rest of these pages for other trackers that I want to do. So it's nice that I kind of have like I know how many pages I'm gonna use. Definitely want to do more reviews though. I am doing like 2 pages per series, and I think that's gonna turn out really, really well so far. And I don't know if I want to like talk about my nonfiction in here too, because I've like loved my nonfiction that I've been reading, but there's too many quotes for me to like pick a quote. But also, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But I'm sorry if you don't care about reading journal content. I love it. As far as Aisha is going, I'm really liking it. I don't know why the ratings are so low. I guess I'll find out. But Aisha is she's about 20. She has an older sister, Samira. We are just meeting her friend that she has. She also has a love interest that we've met, but with the rules of being Muslim, they can't really, you know, consummate anything right now. So it's more just like kissing, and then that's where they cut it off, which is totally fine. I'm still learning about this world, even though I'm only like 30% of the way into the book. Hi. I'm trying to talk to the people, and their father, I can't remember their father's name, but they still live with him, and he's trying to teach them how to do swordplay, and they run an illegal weapons business, and they deal weapons because they're illegal because of the people that have that are occupying their country right now. It's a very like contentious situation that they are in, but they are making the best of it. She has a little bit of a rough relationship with her father, and her mom passed away giving birth to her, and that was like how we opened up the book. I'm really liking it so far. I'm really interested to see where it goes. Oh, and Aisha also has this like super enraged entity in her that so far she can control, and it seems to want her to like just cause destruction and really stick it to the man, basically, or anyone that's like opposing her. I'm interested to see how that goes too. It's really good so far. I don't know that it would necessarily be a 5-star, but it would be a high 4 as of right now. I don't know why people are hating on it. So I think I'm going to shower away my walk earlier today, and then take a break from Aisha and sit with my physical read now that I have time to just like sit and read. I'm excited to get back to Nothing Tastes Good because it's going very well so far. I know that it's just about to get super unhinged. Okay, we have to go quickly because my battery is about to die, but I finished 2 books this morning, and they were both pretty good. And I haven't updated you at all because I was so locked in to doing my reading journal. So the books that I did finish are Wolfworm, and I'm gonna probably have to talk about this later because I don't think my battery is gonna make it, but I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I just had a little bit left to finish up. Super good. And then I also finished Aisha, and people started dying in this. Like basically her whole family died in this war that they're trying to fight. They're rebels basically, and her love interest also, I'm gonna just put spoilers, also did not make it. So she ended up becoming this djinn monster and getting the revenge that everyone was trying to get. Unfortunately, I love the story so much of this and like the idea behind it, but the writing really wasn't great, and there was also a sex scene thrown in there that felt really off and weird and unnecessary. So I'm really unsure on how I'm going to pitch this or justify my rating, but I want to give it 4 stars because I liked so much about it. I really liked Aisha as a character, and I'm interested to see what this writer will do in the future, but this one was just like not quite there yet. And it wasn't long enough. It was under 300 pages to set up this whole fantasy world, and that the characters didn't feel quite fleshed out enough, and I think we could have honestly added 100 to 200 more pages and this book would have been a lot more solid. I just think that I'm kind of disappointed by it, even if I do give it 4 stars, because it has so much of what I like in it. It just wasn't done very well. But do you want to see my reading journal if there's enough battery left? So I started my 5-star page. I think that's turning out super good. And then my calendar pages, this is what I wanted to do with it. It's kind of like how Storygraph does it. Just when I finish a book, that goes on the day, and it only takes up 1/8 of like my printer paper pages. So it doesn't take up too much of the printing because the pages are low-key kind of expensive. Feels a little bit unnecessary. And then I started my reviews. I'm really happy, especially with how the Scald Crow page turned out. So that's going really well. I definitely need to do more reviews. I'm being a little too like stingy with it, But overall, I'm really enjoying getting back into my reading journal. I'm so glad I have my printer again, and I'll talk a little bit more about Wolfworm. We're gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna get some cardio in and also read Nothing Tastes as Good. But I will give you a better update on Wolfworm, and also probably another update on Nothing Tastes as Good, because I didn't get a ton read last night. I was way too tired. This readathon weekend is going really well. I'm hoping to read a couple more books after the ones that I'm in the middle of, and that should be most of my March arc, so this is going very well. Very exciting. We're looking a mess, but we've gotten some reading done. We ate dinner, I watched some YouTube, and now I'm gonna log back in. I was gonna give you my thoughts on Wolfworm since my camera's not dying anymore. We are following Sonia, who is a scientific illustrator and a naturalist. She was teaching at a girls' school, but is offered a position with this doctor who is writing a book about bugs, and he's super into bugs. So she moves into his estate in North Carolina. All of his staff are very nice, but also there's definitely an ominous vibe. And as she's working with him, he's very intense, and they're kind of wondering what has happened to his wife, who kind of fled. And things continue to be more and more ominous just beyond bugs. She ends up finding this crazy bunker and sticking her nose where it doesn't belong, but it's kind of a good thing that she does, and sees just absolute horror in this bunker thing. And she doesn't kind of know who to tell. She doesn't quite know what to do, but then she gets caught because she has gone to this bunker a few times now and gets shut in there, and there's a person there who is, if you know what Wolfworm is, you kind of know where it's going. And she starts talking with him, figuring out what's going on, and realizes who is good and who is not good on this estate. I really enjoyed the ending of this. I really enjoyed Sonia as a main character. This is also historical. It's set in 1899. This is probably one of the more horrific, especially body horror books that I've read by T. Kingfisher. I think this may be my favorite. I read the audiobook for just a little bit, an hour of this book. I mostly eyeball read it though, and it super kept my attention, which is great. Love that for me. And the audiobook was pretty decent too. I feel like Moira Quirk and T. Kingfisher just kind of go hand in hand, but since this is set in North Carolina in 1899, there was no Moira Quirk accent or anything. I'm not quite sure who narrates it actually, but this was 4.5 stars, super good, really loved it. It's great, and I really like this special edition. I think that Owl Crate is doing. I'm definitely thinking about it. Hopefully it's still in stock when I can buy books again. It's so beautiful. They've been doing some really great horror special editions lately, so I'm really hoping to get my hands on that at some point. Maybe I can buy it off of Pango or something. I have Pango bucks, so if I use the Pango bucks to buy it, it would actually be free, if you know what I'm saying. And then I did read a little bit of this on the treadmill. We weren't there for super long. We were both really hungry. I made a really good stir fry. But I did get maybe 40 more pages into this. This is reading really quickly because it is so epistolary and there's not as much densely packed text. And even when it's text, it's not super crazy or anything. So I have about, honestly, 150, 160 pages left. And realistically, 2 hours before I should go to bed. I'm hoping to get this done. So I'm gonna put my little focus friend on, because since I've been on the app, I haven't been on it a ton recently, but they added 2 more rooms and I have not enough socks. I haven't knit enough socks yet to get them. If you don't understand how this works, you have this little bean guy and he knits while you don't use your phone, and then you get socks, and you get those, socks are the currency on this app, and you can buy decorations. So my living room is looking really sad, so I would like to buy more decorations. The only bad thing is that you have to pay to pick which apps you can use, and I can't listen to an audiobook then if I'm using this, but since I'm reading this physically, it's fine. So I'm hoping to get this done before tonight ends, before I go to bed, and then I only have 2 more books to read, and I've started both of them actually, but I haven't talked to you about them yet because we just have a lot going on. We have too much going on for me to talk about all these books, but I will probably introduce one of them to you tomorrow morning after I am going to finish this tonight. We're getting through all the books. I did DNF 1, and that's probably why. Well, I mean, it took 2 off of my plate, but this is going really well. I'm almost over halfway done with Honeysuckle by Barfoot and Tell, and I thought I should update you before I just go right through it. I like this book a lot. It's feeling absolutely like a fairy tale. It's based, I think, on Welsh mythology or folklore, and it's making me very uncomfortable, but in a way that I think that it is supposed to. I thought maybe we were going in oh, this is a romance and it's okay that the dynamic is like this. But I think it's going more for like the question of morality that Frankenstein does. We're following Rory and Day. Rory, we start with them as kids, and Rory is just bugging his big sister all the time to play, to interact with him. Their parents are kind of off somewhere. It doesn't seem to super matter to the story why they're not there. They're just never there. And she's like, if I make you someone to play with, will you leave me alone? And he says yes. So his older sister makes him a flower girl, which is something that is made out of current by season like flowers and fruits and just like general like greenery. And she makes Day, and Day is like his playmate, and they remake her every season. So like her hair color changes every season and kind of her like general coloring, and she looks very seasonal, which is just like such a cool concept. And then his older sister goes off to college and isn't around nearly as much, and at one point she has gone so long that it is almost too late to remake Day. When Day is approaching a season change, she literally physically begins to break down. Like her hair turns to dust, her fingers start falling off, things like that. So it's like pretty traumatic for a kid to be seeing his best friend going through that. So he eventually learns how to do it. He visits his sister at the college sometime to learn more about flower girls to make Day last longer. And obviously as kids grow, they become curious about other things, and that's starting to happen. They're like 17 now, and he has kind of asked if she wants to have certain anatomy and be a little bit more developed, and she basically just wants to make him happy. But it's starting to become the question of like, could she say no if she wanted to say no, and where her autonomy is. And it's making me uncomfortable in the way that I think it's supposed to be making me uncomfortable. And right now, Rory's not malicious necessarily, but also not truly thinking about what Day wants either. So it's beginning to become uncomfortable. And also Day cannot speak. They have developed a language through hand gestures. It's basically like sign language. They've been developing it together so they can communicate basically how you would talk, but she literally doesn't have a voice. And Rory has also started to make friends in the town where the college is, but he won't bring Day there for some reason. He's like becoming controlling with her. It's really good so far. It definitely feels like a dark fairy tale. Like I feel like I am being told a very gothic fairy tale, and I'm nervous to see where this goes, but I know it's gonna make me mad, but I'm really liking the story so far. Rory turned from this sweet little boy into such a man that does not give a shit about what Day wants, and it's pissing me off. Day literally can't seem to consent, and he's still moving forward. She specifically asked him not to do things without telling her, and like to her body, and he keeps doing those things, like about how she's constructed and other like magic things. His sister has been like, hey dude, this is not okay, and all he does is like blow up at her, doesn't want to listen to her. His friends at the university, because he is now going to the university as well, are like, she literally can't consent. This is fucked up that you're doing this, which is true. And he just like gets like, oh my god, am I a bad person? And then he convinces himself that he's not a bad person and what he's doing is fine. And we get Day's point of view too, like her internal monologue, and we see that she's starting to hide things from Rory because she doesn't want them taken away from her. And finally, in order to keep her, he's going on this like semester abroad, so to make sure that she's fine since he can't come back, he makes one season stay in their house, so she's literally trapped right around their house, which she wasn't necessarily trapped before. She just didn't leave before. It's making me so angry, and I really think it's like kind of super along the lines of Frankenstein, but it's making me so angry, but it's so good. I have like an hour left of the audiobook, and I'm really excited to finish it. It is 65 degrees in Portland and sunny, so we're going on another walk. I do know that this is going to make me mad, and you're probably going to get another rant from me after my walk, but I think that this book, sit with it a little bit, because I never truly solidify my ratings right after I read a book. That's pretty rare unless I feel kind of indifferent to it, so that makes vlogging a little bit more difficult. But it could be a 5-star. It could be a high 4. I don't know what it would do to be below a 4, but I'm really liking it, and I cannot wait to recommend it. I finished 2 more books. I didn't have a ton left of either of them, so not like that impressive, but I am excited that I have finished both of them and we only have 1 book left then. So first book I finished was Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas, and I liked this, but Emmett felt really frustrating, and he felt like a really frustrating character, and there are reasons for some of it, but also he was just like an average guy, so he wasn't like the most intelligent, the most conniving, and I felt a little bit frustrated at him at times. But also the story is very sad and mostly about, you know, like what it's like having an eating disorder but also growing up fat. Like both of those things are true, so not only are you not eating right, but you are also fat and like ridiculed that way. This book went almost over the top when it talked about like pretty privilege and like how overweight people are treated versus like the standard size people. But overall, I really liked this. There was a lot of humor in this. I felt empathetic towards Emmett by the end of this book. I really liked some of the side characters. I'm really glad he didn't end up eating his dogs, because that was something I thought was going to happen in this book, but he just stuck to people, which was great. And I really liked the mixed media format of it all. I really think it added to the book. There was so many different kinds. It was really interesting. I really liked it, and I definitely would read more from Luke Dumas. I'm pretty sure he has a dinosaur horror book that I'm really interested in. I think it's called The Paleontologist, so I'll be getting to that at some point. But for now, I'm giving this, I think, 4 stars. It like just hit 4 stars for me. And I finished Honeysuckle on my walk. I didn't take any videos of my walk. I was just enjoying the sunshine. I did take the selfie though to send to somebody, so you have that as proof. But it was so good. I need to get a physical copy of this book when it does come out. It was just so, the ending was so satisfying. I loved pretty much everything about this. I felt like I was in a fairy tale. It was just perfect. Rory was just so freaking frustrating and didn't see, he was so selfish, just so incredibly selfish, and it was so frustrating, and I just wanted to kick him. And then Day, I love her so much. I would read like another book of just her post Rory. That's what I need. It would be so good, and it would soothe something in the anger that this book made me feel, as it should have. And it was just so beautifully written, and I liked the audiobook too. It was like nothing special, but they did have like the accents because it was Welsh folklore, so they had Welsh accents, at least Rory did. It was so good, and I would definitely recommend it. Like, he gave her her voice, and then when she started using her voice to voice opinion, it is the first day of the Trans Rights Readathon, so in theory I want to be done with this vlog, but I do have to finish these arcs as well. And also, the last book that I am finishing right now is by Eric LaRocca, who does go by they, them pronouns, so it does count for the Trans Rights Readathons. It just wasn't part of my plan. Anyway, I am about halfway done with Wretch, and it's fine so far. We are following my man, Simeon, I think. And he is around 40, I think. He has a 16-year-old son with a woman, but he is gay and he has divorced this woman. They are very amicable still, but he had started a relationship with a man. It was going very well. He was thinking it was the love of his life. He wanted a kid with this man, but unfortunately, his partner died of brain cancer just like a few years into the relationship. Super tragic for sure. And now he goes on this like grief chat room site, but only in order to jerk off. But in this grief chat room site, he learns of this grief group where they basically take pictures to try and see their loved ones in those pictures. And so he starts doing this and is slowly becoming involved with a man named Porcelain Ka. Now, we don't totally know who Porcelain Ka is yet, but we've gotten like glimpses and allusions to this man on the back, so this isn't like a spoiler or anything. Porcelain Ka can give you like a last moment with your loved one for a price. This is feeling very similar in tone and in subject matter to Dark I Become Loathsome, and I did not like that book at all. This is going better for sure, but it's still not my favorite. Eric LaRocca in short story form might be more for me versus his novels, which is totally fine, but I'm gonna finish it, and I think it's gonna be like a 3-star, and then this vlog will be over. I definitely have had some wins. I've had some books that I've really, really liked, but definitely not mostly wins. That's just how she goes sometimes though. And I think if you do typically like Eric LaRocca, you would probably like this. Like, it seems very in line with the books that they usually write. That's kind of how I feel about this book. But I'm excited to wrap up this vlog, and I'm really excited for the Trans Rights Readathon. It's gonna be so much fun. You're probably gonna be getting a couple vlogs from me for that one. I'm quite excited. There's a lot of books that I need to get to, so I need to wrap this up. Okay, I've finished Wretch. I'm at 3.25 stars. I was comparing it to Crawl Space, and I definitely like it better than Crawl Space, but not by a ton. We ended up with this like really weird body horror situation. I liked the theme of the book more so than the general execution of it, and I think that is true with the last book that I read by Eric LaRocca too. This one, it had like, what if you, the living person, were haunting your ghost so much they didn't want anything to do with you. I love that concept, like the living person doing the haunting and the ghost not wanting to be haunted. Love that. If you have any recommendations surrounding that, please give them to me. I want more. I think that is such a cool concept, and this execution didn't quite work for me, but that's okay. It's fine. We did have a couple wins. Honestly, Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas, big win. Honeysuckle, really big win. And Wolfworm were my big wins, and I would recommend them for sure. I'm probably going to be purchasing Wolfworm and Honeysuckle when I can. Nothing that I would say that you need to like go out and buy immediately, since they are, you know, like upcoming arcs. Probably can just wait for the library hold, honestly, for all of these, or just like mostly skip Crawl Space. I do think that Wretch absolutely has its readers out there, and it's something that I'm still going to recommend, just not for me. Crawl Space, I would say though, skip, and even the other book that I DNF'd, it was just like wrong time for me. I would still recommend it to, you know, the Midnight Library readers and the Aftertaste readers. That it's definitely for you. It was well written. Really had no complaints about the book other than the subject matter. It was totally fine. And that's all I got for you. I'm really happy with how many books that I got through these last 4 days, and I'm excited to move on to the next vlog already. I'm having such a good time vlogging. I hope they're kind of interesting for you. Let me know what you're reading right now or what you're looking forward to that's coming out in March, or if you just want to leave the emoji, then leave me a tooth for Wretch. Gross. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!